how to build anything. So with the new update from Perplexity Labs, that literally just came out yesterday, I actually cloned Instagram. Like you can see, we actually built a full Instagram style app in one single prompt and deployed it to a subdomain like you can see right here. We also created this SEO updates dashboard that's kind of like a SaaS tool we just built out, and it researched all the latest news for us over the last month. On top of that, I actually created this landing page that is designed beautifully. As you can see, it got automatically deployed to a subdomain, and Perplexity Labs literally researched the topic, wrote the content, designed it in HTML, deployed it, and did all of that in like one single click. It was crazy. And I'll show you exactly how to do all of this stuff today. I mean, for example, here is the beat racer that I built, and this is a full game. If we play this out, you can see here, this is basically designed to be playable as a kind of Space Invaders game. And basically, you know, Perplexity built it in like one single prompt. It was pretty crazy. So here's an example. We can play this game. You can hear the music in the background, the effects, the colors, etc., all deployed and built with Perplexity Labs. So it's actually crazy what you can build with this, and also you can do it all in one shot as well. And the way that we did this, for example, if we look at the dashboard before, we said create a beautiful report and dashboard that I can present on YouTube that explains all the latest SEO updates this month or this week. And the cool thing about Perplexity is basically with this new labs feature, which I'll show you how to use in a second, you just tell it what to do and it goes off, it figures out exactly what to do step by step, gives you the outputs directly here. You've got the deployable app on a subdomain, as you can see, that's shareable. Then you also got the full app, so these are all the assets and everything else, as you can see on the timeline. It can even code for you. So you can see, for example, here it's written JSON, it can generate images, it's actually written in Python as well, and it can also create like .md files. On top of that, it actually zips everything into a zip file here, so you can download it and then just, you know, upload it onto Netlify or wherever you want to host this stuff if you want to deploy it on a subdomain, right? So it's really crazy what you can do. And here's another one. So this is exactly how we use it. So if you want to start building with Perplexity Labs, then all you need to do is make sure you have the Pro plan, and then you're going to click on the section over here and just tell it exactly what you want to build. And I don't seem to see any limitations with this. What I've actually done inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments and description, is I've built out all of these courses and prompts. Like you can see, the links are inside the AI Success Lab, completely free, link in the comments and description, and you can see the example links to the stuff that I've shared. And additionally, I've added 100 prompts and ideas for Perplexity Labs, split by category, so you can just copy and steal this stuff from me if you want to get ideas and inspiration, right? So let's get back into this, and I'll show you exactly how I came up with the stuff and what I usually do with this, right? So the way that I would recommend it is, first of all, you need something or a good idea of what you're going to build, right? So for example, I can just go into the normal version of Perplexity here, and you don't want to rinse your credits, so don't select labs just yet before you have an idea. And then you can say something like, okay, give me 10 fun, creative, dopamine inducing SaaS tools, apps, games, etc. to build with an AI super agent. And then you can say something like customize it to my niche, put whatever your niche is, right? So for example, if I'm an SEO agency, which we are, then we say customize it to my SEO niche. But if you want to monetize this and customize it to, you know, whatever you're doing, you just change that to your industry over here, okay? And then from here, we can hit enter, and it will start going off and just giving us some ideas of what we can build. Now, we want to use the normal version of Perplexity for that because it's going to be much faster to reply. Like if you use Labs, it might take like 10 minutes to do this stuff, whereas you just want to get some quick ideas, and then later you can go back into creating the games and that sort of thing, right? So you can see here, we've got the real-time SEO battle simulator, and that is, for example, create a game where users pit their websites against competitors in real-time SEO battles. The AI agent analyzes both websites, simulates ranking, blah, 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 right? Also, AI-powered content brief generator as well. That's another one. We could create a dopamine-driven SERP tracker, etc., right? Competitor spy game, something like that. So, for example, if we take this one right here, we could actually go into Perplexity Labs. So I'll just go back home, and again, like, it doesn't have to be a game, it can be a tool, an app, whatever. I'm just showing you some fun examples. if you want to learn how to really monetize this stuff, then check out the AI Profit Boardroom, because that's where we talk about, like, you know, doing the serious stuff when it comes to running a business with AI. But this is just for fun on YouTube, of course. So from here, we're going to say competitive spy game. And then we're going to say single HTML. And also what I'm going to say is, like, just to give it an idea of what I'm looking for, I'm going to say like 3JS runner style game, right? Something like that. Then I'm going to say also add some sound effects just to make it fun. And we'll say make the game crazy, full of sound effects, etc. Hey, one interesting tip whilst you're using this, right? So when you're doing this sort of stuff, right, if you're typing and you're typing really quick, or you just can't be bothered, etc., there's two ways to get around that, right? Because I know prompting can be quite time consuming. So number one is you can use a microphone and just talk straight into it over here. The other one is if you make typos, I know by habit usually we press a backspace and we try and correct the prompt that we're doing, but actually if you just leave it with all the typos, and you know, even if you didn't add spaces or that sort of thing, the AI is smart enough to figure it out because it's an LLM, right? It's a large language model. So from here we're gonna type in that prompt, and then we've selected Perplexity Labs. Bear in mind, I think you get about 50 credits per month on this, so don't rinse it, just use it sparingly when you need to. And also it does take a few minutes, so you want to just give yourself a bit of time on this. And then from here we can hit enter and wait for this to load. Now, by the way, peeps, if you are watching the replay of this and you want like the slowed down version, you want to watch back the live stream that I've actually done for this, then all you need to do is just go over to Julian Goldie SEO YouTube channel, go to the live section here, and you can see all the previous lives, right? And you can watch all this stuff in slow motion. So if you're watching the edited version, you're like, I want this man to slow down, before you start typing in the comments, just watch the live stream. Like, it's a lot slower and chilled out, all right? So from here, we can start getting back our spy game. And what you can see is it's using labs to generate this, and it's got 5 minutes left to compile the data, etc. And you can see how it's basically figuring out step by step all the tasks you need to do to start creating this, right? And typically it does only take about 5 or 10 minutes to generate a response. So it's pretty good, pretty fast. And whilst waiting for that to load, I'll come on to other stuff. The other thing that I want to mention though before we do that is you'll get a timer here. That timer is not always 100% accurate, can be faster, can be shorter. Just bear in mind, like, it can take a bit longer than you expect sometimes. If you want to see the full prompt that you actually typed in, it's here. If you make any changes in the create anything section down here, quite often it doesn't have context on the last sort of labs section that you posted, right? So just be aware of that. It's like, if you post something new in there, add the old prompt as well, because otherwise it doesn't seem to have context on the last response. I'm not sure why. And then finally on here, you can see all the sources and what it's doing step by step. So if you want to understand, okay, where's it up to, what's it doing, etc., you can see right here. So for example, now it's creating the application, and you can see at the bottom, if we zoom in, that it is building the application. So it's building the 3D SEO spy runner with Intel gathering. So whilst waiting for that to load, we can come back to the other stuff that we built, and I'll show you exactly how they went step by step. So if we zoom out, this is the racer game that I mentioned earlier with the bright colors, etc. One thing I noticed, and this is quite interesting, is if I press start game there, it doesn't work, right? And it kind of tricks you into thinking, oh, it doesn't work, blah, 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 right? But actually, if you click on full screen, then it starts working. So this is Rainbow Rush. And also, just bear in mind, if you've created a game, then you want to take note of the instructions before you start playing, otherwise you won't know how to play it, right? So if we open this up, click start game now, you can see it actually works. It's got the sound effects. We're using the keyboard shortcuts I mentioned earlier, and we're just flying through here, right? I mean, that game is better than something from the 80s or the 90s, let's be honest. And we just coded it in one single prompt. I bet that could be super addictive. You also got the score in the top left here, high score in the top right, etc. And you can pause this as well, and the pause option works beautifully. Now, bear in mind, like, if you're using something like ChatGPT to build that, quite often ChatGPT breaks or that sort of thing. The other thing that I would say is when you're actually looking at your project that you've built, it will break it down into like a full report, right? So you can see here, it actually breaks down the core game mechanics. It breaks down what's happening step by step. It shows you exactly what it's building and how it's built it, even how it's optimized for dopamine optimization, right? Crazy stuff, including like the frequent reward loops, progressive achievement systems, right? So the thing I love about Perplexity Labs, and it's the second time I use it today, I realized how much more powerful it is versus before. The thing that I love about this is it's it's not just building the game, it's telling you how it built the game, and it's showing you the process in between. Now, this is totally different to when you build something within an application builder, like, for example, Bolt, right? So a lot of people who watch this channel, they understand Bolt.new or Lovable, these other tools, and I would genuinely say, in some ways, Perplexity Labs is better. And I'll show you why, right? So if we close this and we go into Bolt.new and we plug in exactly the same prompt, number one, it can break quite often. It's quite temperamental Bolt. But number two, it also doesn't break down what it's done in the same sort of report, and it doesn't give you the individual assets, right? Top of that, this also will deploy the game or the application into a subdomain. And on top of that, the other thing that I've seen with Perplexity, and I don't know how they're doing this, but it never seems to break, right? It never seems to not work on the first attempt. So it's crazy stuff, 100% worth checking out, and I'm absolutely loving it. So we'll wait for Bolt.new to come back, and we'll see side by side which one built the better game, right? Was it Perplexity or was it Bolt.new? So wait for those to load, and then we'll come back to those later. We've also got the spy game running in the background. But bear in mind as well, like, you're not just building games here. So, for example, this was a full Instagram application. Literally all I said was build an Instagram clone. It went off and did it, like you can see. It explained exactly what it's doing. So it's kind of like a team of agents. Like, you know, some of them are building the game. Some of them are doing the live research on the web. And some of them are breaking down step by step how it's actually been engineered to create the best possible outputs. So this is some of the stuff that you're getting back here. Create some really nice images as well. Explains what it's doing, why it's doing it, etc. And then it even comes back with like the technical clone stack. And you can see some examples of what it's doing, right? It's created like a full report on that. And it did it in like 10 minutes. Wild stuff. If we go back here as well, so for this report dashboard, when we say create a beautiful report that can present blah blah blah, like, it's got this interactive feature where you can click on the buttons, nice emojis, and then it breaks down exactly where it's got the research and that sort of thing, right? So you've kind of got like the short and the long version depending on what you want. And also if you go to the sources section over here, you can see all the sources that it's used, right? So if you compare this to a human could never do all that sort of research in one single prompt in the space of 10 minutes, right? It's impossible for any human to do that. But this agent can just build the app, do the research, go off and figure out exactly what you're looking for, and then deploy it as well automatically, right? Kind of, it's like a 100x the speed of a human, for example. So these are some of the stuff that you can build with it. This AI Profit Boardroom landing page that I created as well was pretty impressive. Honestly, that looks better than some of the stuff I've built on apps that are designed to design websites, if that makes sense. And just to show you, so I want to show you side by side exactly the same prompt, right? Exactly the same prompt here versus here, right? So same prompts. Now let me show you side by side what we got back from Bolt versus Perplexity, and we'll see which one you prefer. All right. So if we pull these up, we've got the project from Bolt over here. Let's see what we got. So this is a project from Bolt. You can't really see it. It's not very responsive. Let's just refresh the page and see if it's a bug. No, it's not responsive at all. Whereas this is the game that we got back from Perplexity, right? You tell me which one is better. Obviously, it's the one from Perplexity. And also, if we click on Start Game here, it's really weird. Like, why is it so narrow? Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't really work either. Like, I can't do anything inside there. So you get the gist. It's like such a better app creator versus anything else that I've seen on the web, really. And then also, if you go down here as well, you see the explanations that it's used inside Bolt. These are not as descriptive and not as in detailed versus something like Perplexity. So Perplexity, it breaks down everything step by step. Like, you've got the full Monty in terms of exactly how it works, why it's been designed that way, etc. So it's really wild how good it is. And then if we go back to the spy game, it's still building out. So like I said, it might take longer than 4 minutes sometimes. I wouldn't rely on the timer right there, but it is a powerful tool. So thanks so much for watching. That is basically how to use Perplexity Labs to create anything. I've shown you how to build reports, websites, apps, games, SaaS tools, etc. And I've compared it versus Bolt.new as well. And you can see how powerful it is for app deployment. If you want to get access to 100 different ideas and prompts on using this stuff, then feel free to get the AI Success Lab. It's completely free, link in the comments description, and also has examples of all the stuff that I built with it. Additionally, if you want to get the courses, so for example, the Perplexity Masterclass and the SOP on using Perplexity Labs, then feel free to get that links right here. And additionally, if you want to get help, support, if you want to learn how to really monetize this stuff for your business to make more money, then feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom. The AI Profit Boardroom is basically, it's everything that I talk about, but designed to help you learn and discover how to monetize this stuff, right? So it's all about how to make money with AI and the stuff that I show you. And it's based on what's helped us scale as a business. So inside here, for example, you can post inside the community. We have 600 members. You can post any questions you have. We're super active in here as well. So for example, like Lois posted today and we got straight back to her, as you can see. For example, as well, a fellow was asking some questions, got straight back to him. And I'm super active. This is where I'm active the most. So if you want to connect with me, if you want to learn from me, if you want to be able to DM me and ask me any questions, or just connect with me personally, this is the best place to do it. Additionally, inside the classroom, you'll see it comes with all my best AI agents, workflows, SOPs as well, so step-by-step SOPs and all the latest stuff. And then we also have inside there weekly coaching calls, and if you have any questions, post them inside the thread right here, and we actually make custom-made videos for you each week based on the questions you have. So everything is like custom tailored to exactly what you want, so that we can make this the best AI community in the world, all right? So feel free to sign up to that link in the comments and description. Appreciate you watching. All right, peeps, if you've got any questions before we move on to the next section, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm going to hop straight on to the next section, which is going to be pretty exciting, but feel free, like I said, to post any questions you have, and I'll try and help you out as much as I can, all right? Just going to put the old top button up there. All right. By the way, is anyone using Veo 3 or Kling 2.1 at the minute? If you are, feel free to comment. I'll be interested to know. And if you have any questions that I can help you out with, just let me know in the comment section as well, alright? So, Kling 2.1 versus Veo 3, which one? So today we're going to be comparing them side by side. If you're not familiar with Kling, basically it's very similar to Google's Veo 3 in terms of generating videos. This is an example video that I actually built earlier today. As you can see, it looks super lifelike and the colors and everything are absolutely amazing. I've been really impressed by it. And we're going to be comparing Kling 2.1 side by side versus Veo 3 to see what we get back and which one performs the best. Now, if you want to get access to Veo 3, you can actually join the Pro plan on Gemini, and then you can go into Gemini, like you can see, and start using it. If you click Generate with Veo 3 here, you can just type in whatever you want. If you want to get access to Kling, you can just go to klingai.com, and we'll be comparing these side by side. So, Here's the first example from VO 3. So this one, we actually put in the prompt, a grandma drag races in a mobility scooter, flames shooting out the back, and this is the output that we got back. And if we compare that side by side versus VO 3, we can see which one performs the best, all right? So these are the two options. Now, one of the things that I noticed straight off the bat, and I'll be 100% honest with you here, is the Kling 2.1 isn't very good at sound. And I'll show you some examples. So if we play this back, for example. So you see how that's got the sound effects, and it's a grandma driving on the mobility scooter, and everything's kind of synced up in the shot, right? You can do that on Kling 2.1, but I'll give you an example of how bad that sound is when you actually play it in real life, right? So you got two different options. This is the sound. Right? And so you can see in the video, I actually made her talk. You can see the lips moving. But there's actually no sound coming out of it, right? Now, you can try and add a voice to it.
Grandma just unlocked turbo mode.
But the voice is just horrible. Horrible, alright? So that's one of the biggest issues that I've seen with it. If we actually go to sound generation over here, we can add sound to that image. So for example, we can click on redub, and then we can edit the sound directly here. And then we can choose between different voices, right, in this section. However, from what I've seen so far, as far as I'm aware, it just doesn't look that good. Now, you can upload local dubbing as well, and then you can insert your own audio speech in front of that. But the problem with that is that it requires a lot more work. Now, for example, if we just go into Gemini, with Gemini and VO 3, we don't need to worry about adding the sound. It automatically gets synced in there, and we don't need to mess around with this. So, for example, if we go into Gemini, and you've already seen the example with just the ambient effects, but if we go into Gemini now, and then we're going to click on video over here, we're going to say, she says, grandma just unlocked turbo mode. And then if we go and take the original prompt, we'll plug that in like this. That's going to be much easier to generate a lip-synced video that actually makes sense with audio, right? So if we play that side by side. However, what I will say is that if we actually pull these up side by side, this video actually looks a lot nicer than this one, right? But the only issue is, this is not a mobility scooter, this is just a scooter, which actually kind of makes the video better and funnier. But at the same time, it's not what we asked for, right? So I can imagine that would get quite annoying too. But yeah, I think the actual video itself just looks better, looks more interesting, brighter colors, etc. Now, in terms of the actual speed, so if we want to generate videos from both, we can go to video generation over here. And if we go to video generation inside klingai.com, we can start using this. And you just select from the drop down Kling 2.1 or Kling 2.1 Master. This is the best for dynamics and the best performance, etc. And then inside here, you just type what you want, right? So for example, if we go back to some VO 3 examples, and we'll say gorilla plays chess against a human, flips the board when losing. This is the original video from VO 3. All right, now if we go over to Kling and we start plugging this in. So gorilla plays chess against human, flips the board when losing. We'll hit generate like so. And that's usually going to take about the similar sort of time. I think it actually is probably about 20% slower. So you can see here that Kling, it says generating estimated waiting time 6 minutons. All right, so it does take a little bit longer to generate any sort of responses. What we can also do is try and turn an image to a video as well. So if we go inside here, we'll upload an image of myself like this, and then we'll say, okay, man starts driving and his car starts flying into the sky with fire shooting out of it. All right, and then we're going to take the image to video frames. We've uploaded the image like so. We've put in the prompt over here, and then 5 seconds. You can generate multiple outputs as well, which is pretty good at the same time. And then if we generate that, that's going to take 100 credits from our amount, right? Now, also in the credits section here, you can see your credits in the top right, so you can check those. And we should be good to go on that. Now, the other cool thing about Veo the other thing that I would say that's slightly better with Kling 2.1 versus Veo 3 is that with Veo 3, you only seem to get like a limited number of generations per day, and then you have to wait 24 hours. But if we come back to the video that we generated earlier, like this one, inside Veo 3, let's pull this up, and we'll start playing this one. So you can see it's always about 8 seconds long.
Just unlocked turbo mode.
So actually, interestingly, it comes up with the subtitles here, but the subtitles are always wrong. I don't know why it even bothers adding subtitles, to be honest with you. But if we actually look, it's captured what we want, and it's synced the lips perfectly. So if we just click on this again and we'll play it.
Grandma just unlocked turbo mode.
So the lip sync was basically perfect. The voice fits nicely as well. Doesn't feel like AI generated, unlike Kling 2.1. And the colors and everything are really nice as well. The only thing that I don't like is the background. Like it looks kind of like almost a green screen. But I like the way that just such a simple prompt can create the video so quickly. So if it was down to me and I've got a choice between Kling 2.1 and this sort of video, but it doesn't have the lip sync, or Veo 3, I'm going to go with Veo 3 every single day. The only issue with Veo 3 is that there's not actually an API that you can use to generate this stuff, right? So if you want to use an API to generate this stuff, then what you can do is you can actually use Kling for this, and you can go to something called, let's pull this up. FOW.ai, right? And FOW allows you to actually get an API key for Flux or for Kling as well, and then you can automate a lot of stuff with it, right? So it's got Kling 2.0 master. Bear in mind, we're looking at 2.1 today. I don't think the API is out as far as I'm aware. But if you want to link your AI agents to 2.0, which is still really good, and you want to generate videos on autopilot, then you can use Kling 2.0. Veo 3 is not available yet, but you do get Veo 2, to be fair. So you can generate videos with Veo 2. Obviously, that doesn't come with sound. When Veo 3 is available on the API for FAL, I think the whole of YouTube is going to change, because people are going to generate like crazy long form videos and short form reels and stuff like that using the API key from Veo 3, and it's going to have audio, it's going to have lip syncs in it, it's going to have like multiple different clips stitched together. I think that's going to be absolutely insane, to be fair. Now, if you want to get full automation on how to automate reels, viral reels, and then you can generate them with like one click on NA10 using FAL and the API key, then feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom and just go to the NA10 Reels workflow. The other thing that you can get is the NA10 auto posting workflow here, and this is inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. You can just download the NA10 blueprint here, and then upload it to NA10, and you're good to go on that. As an example of this, if you want to see how powerful this is, and bear in mind this was done with the old version of Kling, let alone Veo 3 and that sort of thing. So if we go over to this example video, this actually has sound on it as well. So if we unmute this, this is a video generated in like one click with an AI agent, right? And this way as well, because you're stitching multiple reels together using either Veo 2 or Kling 2.0. I'd recommend 2.0 to be honest from Kling. Then you can see this is like a minute long. Then you can see this is like a minute long, right? So it's really, really powerful stuff. So let's keep going now. We'll have a look at what we also generated here. So let's play this one. So you can see there's no sound generated on that particular response. However, you can see the next steps here. So you can add multi-elements, AI sound, or lip sync, right? So for example, if we click on multi-elements here, you can swap parts out. So you can say, okay, swap that from this image or this from that image, that video, etc. Right? And also inside the AI sound section here, it will analyze the video and then come up with a relevant prompt related to the video. So for example, if we have a look at this prompt, that's the video from Kling 2.1. And then if we go inside here, you can see that it's analyzed automatically on the video and said, right, we need to create sound that is like chess pieces, clatter as a gorilla slams a board, followed by a tense silence. So let's play that. Yeah. And then if we hit generate, it's going to take a few minutes to generate, but we'll get the outputs back in a second, all right? So it says estimated waiting time of 30 seconds, which is actually not too bad to add the sound as well. The only thing that I worry about is like it's probably not going to be synced up. What I would say as well is that these clips are usually like 5 seconds long, right? So 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Whereas, for example, with Veo 3, it's going to be 8 seconds long each time. So that's a big difference here. Let's play this video that we generated. So it's taken the photo and turned that into a video like you can see. Pretty crazy. It looks pretty good as well. And then, of course, you can add the elements in the AI sound. So if we go to AI sound here, again, it will analyze that and then start generating it. But again, I think for convenience, you're going to go with Veo 3 if you can. So if we go back now, we've got the sound generated from this clip. Let's unmute the tab and we'll play that back. So you see how that doesn't match up at all in terms of sound? Whereas if you go back to Gemini, and this was just generated in one prompt, we'll play that back. All right, so you get the point. Like, the outputs from Veo 3 are just more convenient. They match perfectly. You can edit the original prompt as well. And even like the UI as well, it just feels a lot nicer. So overall, I'm going to say that Veo 3 wins by a long way, right? For convenience, for quality, for the outputs, for the speed, everything, it pretty much wins. The lip syncing and the audio syncing on the clips, unless there's a smarter way to do it, it's just much better with Veo 3. And also I think like if you wanted to create a full movie, then it would be much easier using Veo 3 instead of using Kling, right? Kling is just doesn't make any sense. Let's go back here now as well. So we've got this should be the video. Oh, it's done the chess pieces on that. That's what I mean by the UI. It's kind of like a little bit confusing. But yeah, you get the point, and then you got the credit system up there. I do like the fact that you get the credit system here, because Veo 3, it won't tell you until you've run out of credits how many more generations you have left. Also, what you can see on Veo on a Kling 2.1 is you get different options. So if you click on this, you get 4 different operations on the sound. But again, like, none of them work, right? Like, none of them fit in at all. So if it was down to me, I wouldn't pick any of them. I'd pick Google Veo 3. So that's basically it. When it comes to this, I'm going to say Google Veo 3 is the best, is the most interesting to use. It creates the best responses. It syncs the audio perfectly. It works perfectly first time around. The only thing I don't like is the lack of limited credits. But also, if you're using Flow, Google Flow, then you actually get like 80 credits per month, and you can just generate as many as you want in one go if you want. And also, here's the thing, right? Because it's got the audio syncing ability, it's much faster and easier to create a full film. So, for example, if we have a look at this film that I generated earlier, let's play this back.
Breaking news today, it appears that the world is a simulation.
If you think you're just made by a prompt, you're crazy. Just saying. Are you AI?
Are you
So like all the videos that you're seeing here were pretty much generated in one prompt with the audio already synced in with Veo 3, whereas Kling 2.1, it obviously doesn't do that, and it's not as powerful. So that's basically it. Now, if you want to get access to all the video notes from today, including all the examples that I've highlighted, if you want to check that stuff out, link in the comments and description to the video notes from today. Just join the AI Success Lab. It's completely free. You can check it out. And then additionally, if you want to get 5 trainings and courses on Veo 3, all the prompts, the courses, the free trainings, the tutorials, etc., feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. And this is also a community with like 8,400 members, so you can join here, learn from us. We're always giving away new free trainings every single day, as you can see. So there's a lot of value in that group. And then additionally, if you want to get help, support, if you want to connect with me personally, if you want to learn how to actually monetize this stuff, feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom. This is an awesome community just focused on, serious entrepreneurs who want to scale, who want to make money with AI, and also want to get help, support, and guidance from myself and Vic, who run the community. Additionally, it comes with all of my best NA10 agents, workflows, etc., and weekly coaching calls and Q&A calls, right? So you can get live help. And on top of that, what we actually do is each week we make a custom video for you based on the questions that you post in this thread, right? So each week you can post your questions. We'll make a video breakdown for you, showing you exactly how to solve all of the problems that you have right now, so you can save hours of time and just keep moving forward in your business. Now, if you just want us to implement all this stuff for you, and you're like, I just need an AI automation agency, then feel free to book in a free discovery call, link in the comments description, and you can book in a free call here and just jump on a call with us, and we'll be happy to give you a consult and then show you exactly how we can implement it for you. All right, peeps. Feel free to ask any questions before we move on to the next section. So today we're going to be looking at Flux.1 context, which is a brand new model for image generation. Now, one of the best things about this is you can actually really easily edit your images, and it's absolutely wild how good this is, right? So as an example of this, if we have a look at this image, I literally took a image of myself, which you can see right here. And I said, add sunglasses to this man. And the AI just added it in instantly. Now, this is huge because if you compare the differences of this versus the image editing capabilities of something that was impressive when it first came out, like for example, ChatGPT, you can see how the face just looks a lot weirder after we've actually edited the image right here. So for example, like it just doesn't look realistic once we've edited the image directly on ChatGPT. Whereas, for example, inside Flux, we can pretty much instantly edit the sunglasses on this person, change whatever we want. It's really easy. So, for example, if we go inside the chat here and we're using Flux context, like you can see, we can scroll down and then we can say, right, okay, make this man's suit green, right? And it will start doing it. Now, if we go into ChatGPT and we'll compare the output side by side, so we'll wait for that to load. You see how quickly that's come back to us? Really, really fast, right? Now, if we compare that to ChatGPT, ChatGPT totally failed, right? Right? It didn't even come back to us with an image. So we said, sure, here, we said, make this man's suit green, and it said, sure, here's the image, and it literally just didn't attach anything. Now, if we change that to GPT-4o, I'm going to edit that. And we'll try again on that, see if it can do it. But you can see how much slower ChatGPT is for editing, and also it'd be interesting to compare the outputs. So we can see the original there, the second output there, the third output there. We can download this as well, so if we download that image, and then we open up, we've got the image right there, and it still looks quite realistic, really. It's a little bit pixelated, but we could get better quality on that. But look how long ChatGPT is coming back to us with. Like, it's taking absolutely ages. Now, the way that I'm using this is with something called OpenArt.ai. If you want to get access to all this stuff, all the video notes from today, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. And inside here, you'll get a full recipe on using Flux, plus 100 different examples of how you can use it in different prompts and that sort of thing. So if you want to steal this stuff from me, you can directly inside the AI Success Lab. And again, look how long ChatGPT is taking versus using Flux context. And now you see how like the person's face is just a little bit weird. It will get weirder and weirder every time you edit this, right? So, for example, inside OpenArt, the image tends to stay the same, really. So if we open this one up, and then if we download this and we'll compare them side by side. So this is ChatGPT's output, and this is the output from OpenArt using Flux context. And you can see the difference in quality, right? Like, look how weird the face is. If you want to quickly edit an image, this one is just going to get less and less realistic. Even like the proportions of the image just look a little bit weird. And this one as well, like even the colors that's used on the suit, they just look a lot more sort of vibrant and interesting. And even it's got the aperture there, so it's sort of unfocused on the arm, but then focused on the body and the face. So, I mean, the outputs are huge, and the speed difference is huge as well. And so if you're generating images now, I would genuinely recommend like using something like Flux context, especially if you're editing images with AI. It seems to be way, way faster using this. And again, I'm using this for free on the trial credits, so you can actually get free access to Flux as well if you're using OpenArt AI. There are a few other options as well for generating outputs with this. So, for example, you can see directly inside Leonardo.ai as well. You can use Flux One Context. So you can just click on the drop down here and then go to Flux Context. You also get an option of all of these different models, but obviously this is the latest one. You can use GPT-image one as well, but I just think Flux Context is going to be better. And to get access to that, you just go to Leonardo.ai, go to image, and then you can generate your images like you can see right here. And again, I'm on the free plan, so I can use this for free. Additionally, the other way you can use this is inside Playground, so Flux Playground. You can edit images, change images, etc. So if we have a look at some examples, you could say, okay, camera is closer to the cat who's now looking at the camera. And then instead of zooming in on this person, it zooms in on the cat, like you can see. Right? The image is really cool. Here's another example. So style the lizard as woven out of string or yarn, and then it actually does it. And for editing images, this is like Photoshop on steroids, basically. Like, it's so easy to just edit an image and change it quickly. Now, also what you can do is you can fill. So let's open this up. You can fill and you can expand images to any size too. And then you can generate images directly here as well. And here's some examples of what it's built. So like, even for example, art, you know, for a magazine cover or something like that, you could easily build that out. And some super surreal stuff here as well, like a giant ball made of fluffy pandas rolling through the street. Now, if we actually take that image, we'll try and generate the same thing inside ChatGPT as well. So let's grab that image over here. And then we'll go over to ChatGPT. Use exactly the same prompt to see what we get back. And we'll wait for that to load. And by the way, if you want to get the API for Flux, you can get that inside Foul.ai. Foul.ai. It allows you to build like AI agents with the API. And you can get Flux and Kling and image generation, video generation, all directly inside there, along with audio too, which is pretty cool, because then, you know, you can plug them into your NA10 AI agents and build whatever you want. As an example of that, if you go over to the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description inside this community, you can join here. And if you type in Reels, for example, inside the AI Profit Boardroom, go to the classroom section here. And then if we look at this viral Reels workflow that you can actually download the template of right here, this actually used it used a version of Flux to generate images and then turn them into Reels, right? So if we open this up, this is using Flux to generate these videos. And basically what it does inside the NA10 workflow is it grabs the API from Foul, generates a prompt, then generates the image, and then uses Kling to take that image and generate it into video, right? And then it stitches all of them together inside the workflow. It's pretty crazy. So if you want to get that stuff, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But my point here is, you know, with the API from context, from Flux, you'll be able to build some crazy stuff, like super hyper realistic stuff. And that's inside the chat option here, so it's really cool. You can go inside the edit section as well here, and there's all sorts of stuff, but I think from what I've seen, the chat version is the best so far. So if we pull this up, this is the version that we get back from ChatGPT 4.0, and if we compare that to Flux, I mean, the difference is a night and day, right? Like, this is just so much better than ChatGPT's output. And bear in mind, what we're looking for is not just optimizations in terms of quality, but also speed, right? So, for example, if by default, ChatGPT 4.0 is generating like cartoon style images, well, then we have to go back and we have to edit it. We have to ask it to be photorealistic, etc. Whereas Flux is like, boom, here you go. Here's your giant fluffy ball of pandas, right? I'm going to say now inside ChatGPT, make it photorealistic, but you get the point. Like, the outputs from Flux are a lot more realistic, a lot more interesting. I don't know if it's still the case, but also Grok was using Flux as well to generate images. And I think with the Context 1 version as well, like, the images have just leveled up so much. Here's another example. I mean, if you saw that on social media, would you be able to tell the difference? Probably not, right? Let's take this one. So we'll grab that prompt like so. And we'll run that through ChatGPT and just compare them side by side. See what we get back. So it's generating the image now. And again, this image is not photorealistic at all, is it? Like, it still looks a bit cartoony. I don't know why ChatGPT does that. It still looks better than the first version, but the first, you know, the image generation from Flux is still better, right? If we go on to this example, so this is ChatGPT versus Flux Context. You see how much more vibrant the image is right here? this one just looks a lot more interesting. Like it's going to capture people's attention on social media if you're generating images or videos with this directly way faster, right? And the other cool thing we can do here, if you want to take this to a whole new level, is you can actually download the image, like you can see. So we've got the PNG ready to go. And then what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go over to Kling, klingai.com, and we can actually generate a video based on the image, right? And then if you combine Kling and Flux together, it's insane. So if we go over to video section here, we'll upload the image that we just generated. There we go. And I'm going to say, the guy goes crazy at a rave with AI robots in a dark, dingy basement dance floor. Then has a dance off. Something like that, right? We'll generate the image. It usually takes about, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes to generate images and videos based on this. But basically what I'm trying to show you here is like, you can get the images directly from Flux, then you can upload them to Kling, and you can create like some crazy stuff because the images are just so hyper realistic, right? And you're seeing side by side how different they are. So for editing images quickly, for getting outputs quickly, for turning images into videos, I would genuinely say that Kling 2.1, that Flux Context Pro is just absolutely insane. Like it's insane how good it is. These are some examples of how Kling can create videos, but they weren't generated with Flux. So yeah, that's basically it. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the resources from today, the examples, the different websites I've used, etc., feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments description. We've also got a full recipe on how to use Flux Context Pro, and additionally 100 different prompts that you can steal from me to learn how to use Flux and test it out and that sort of thing. So if you want to get this is an awesome community with 8,400 people. You can post in the community. We're giving away free AI trainings every single day, as you can see. And also, inside here, there's tons of different trainings. Now, if you want to get all of this stuff customized to you, your business, if you want to get coaching, if you want to get help, support, etc., feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This basically shows you all the concepts that we've talked about, but puts them into a context where you can learn how to make money and monetize and grow your business with them, right? And save time, which is what really matters, right? It's all fun and games, creating videos with images and that sort of thing. But what you really want to know is like, how can you monetize this? How can you use it to save you time or scale your business and that sort of thing? And that's exactly what we teach inside the AI Profit Boardroom. It also comes with weekly custom videos directly from me. And additionally, if you post inside the community here, we'll get back to you as soon as we can, try and help you out as much as we can as well. And then additionally, if you want to get a free AI automation session, feel free to get that link in the comments description, and you can book in a free consultation call, ask us any questions, and then if it makes sense for us to work together and implement something for you, we're happy to do that too. So feel free to book that in, link in the comments description, and we'll see you on the next